What's up, everybody? Welcome back to racingdudes.com. Welcome back to another one of our Kentucky Derby horse profiles as we go towards the 2026 Kentucky Derby. Before I go on, make sure to go to racingdudes.com each and every day for your horse picks, and especially to get the Kentucky Derby / Kentucky Oaks betting Bible for sale right now for pre-order. And then the picks will come out the week of the race. Should be a lot of fun this year's Kentucky Derby. Well, this horse profile, I think, will be a popular one. We're talking about Japanese-based horse Danon Bourbon, who's going to come over here after 3 wins out of 3 starts in his career, 2 starts, 2 wins this year. So undefeated 3 for 3 Japan-based horse. Let's look at those results here. And, you just never know really what you're facing over in Japan. That's the first thing we'll say. But breaks the maiden and then wins, kind of a equivalent of an allowance race, and then wins the final Kentucky Derby prep race over in the Japan series to make it 3 for 3. Looks pretty good in all 3. Really strong efforts. Kind of just ran away from them, really, especially in the last couple. So there's really not a whole lot of negative you can take away from those races. What was he facing? Who knows? I certainly do not know what he was facing in those races, but he did look good doing it. There's no doubt about it. And a horse that I think, jumps off the screen when you watch him and say, man, he can really run. And he's really finishing strongly, especially in that last race. Let's look at the pedigree for Danon Bourbon. And what do you know? He's not a Japanese bred horse. He's actually a Kentucky bred horse. He's by Maxfield out of a Tappet mare. So certainly you would think going a mile and quarter is not going to be too big of a problem for this horse. Distance should be fine. He runs like a horse that should get the distance as well. So a lot to like about Danon Bourbon from the pedigree side of thing as well. And you got to like the fact that this is actually a Kentucky bred horse. This is not a Japanese bred horse. This horse was bred right there in the state of Kentucky. Running style for this horse, I think goes to the front. I think goes to the front, or at least pushes the pace. I shouldn't have said goes to the front. I think will be forwardly placed. Does that mean he's going to get the lead? Maybe not, but I do think he'll be, in that first kind of flight of horses, maybe towards the back of that first flight. Now, the one thing that you got to kind of pause on, though, with these international runners coming over here, quite a few of them have not got out of the gate very well. And where you think they're going to be isn't exactly where they end up. And you think about a horse like Forever Young, who was kind of placed, I think, where Danon Bourbon's going to be placed. Not on the lead, but towards the front. Maybe pushing the pace, or maybe just right off the horses pushing the pace, right? Forever Young came over here and it cost him the Kentucky Derby. He got a terrible start. He got way far behind. He made a huge run and just couldn't get there. And so you worry about that with any of these horses, not only with winning the race, but, can the horse, do what they're supposed to do as far as a pace scenario is concerned, or where they're going to sit early in the race. So that's going to be the big question mark. We can talk about running styles all day, but it's going to be very different when they come out of the gates for the Kentucky Derby. Now, not all of these European or Japanese runners, or even the runners come from Dubai, not all of them have had trouble. Some of them, like the year Rich Strike won, they popped the gate real quick and set a huge, a very, very fast pace in that one. So we'll see. Hopefully this horse can get out of the gate and do what he's supposed to do. The negative on this horse, obviously, we just don't know anything about him really when it comes to what's he doing in Japan, how's that's going to equate to the United States. We're just not sure. And look, the Japanese runners have come over here, and some of them, like Forever Young, have run very well. There's others that have run very well here in this spot, but none of them have been able to win. And so that's going to be the big question mark with Danon Bourbon. Can he be the first to go and do it? So that's a negative. I talked about the gate issues with the international horses. That does happen a lot. So not saying it's going to, not saying that's a lock, just saying that is a problem without any doubt when you go back and look at what's happened. So, the negatives are there with Danon Bourbon. Everybody kind of sees and knows, the Japanese runner coming over here to face these kind of horses, whole different scenario. Who knows how they're going to handle it. Final verdict for me. I am from Missouri. You got to show me. I am in the show me state. And until one of these horses actually comes over here and wins the race, I am going to continue to not worry too much about the Japanese runner. Now, I will say Forever Young was the exception. I did end up putting Forever Young on tickets. Of course, he didn't win, but it really felt like he should have won. I don't think this horse is Forever Young. Forever Young came with a ton of hype. Forever Young also left Japan. And he went and he ran in the Saudi Derby. He went and ran in the UAE Derby. He was well traveled. He left Japan and was running against much better horses, in my opinion. So I think that does make a little bit of a difference. So again, I did end up playing Forever Young on tickets. So, but by and large, these are the kind of horses I kind of just say, yeah, let them beat me. Kind of how I feel about this horse at the moment. I will say this, he's on kind of that fringe of, okay, now he's a win contender for me. So if a couple of win contenders don't end up running or they get poor post positions, he could jump up and make an impact on my tickets, and maybe I'll ultimately play him on a ticket. Check back the website the week of the race when I do the full preview, and then you'll get your answer there for what I ultimately do with Danon Bourbon. All right, guys, thanks everybody for joining us. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you really like it. Want to get alerting time we do videos like this. And most importantly, stay tuned to the website for more Kentucky Derby coverage.